Hey, Shalom, Ashar. I want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem, El Shah, Shem, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in true, more sincerity. Yeah, this is the kind of news you like waking up to, man. So this was breaking. I was as I was sleeping. All right, this is the U.S. launched Baghdad airstrike that killed Iranian military leader Qasem Soleimani, right? So these guys, will want to talk about how they're and you see, and this is how you know this man's a devil. Trump's direction as defensive action. Right, you attacked a man. You attacked a man. More than likely, what was it? Says so what? Iran, they're ahead of us, right? So this was probably in the dead of night. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that, right? It says this is a massive blow to Iranian regime. Look, man. This man's the devil, right? And this is proof of it. It will talk about, international law, this, international law, that. And like I was saying, just straight up, just kill, kill a man, right? Drop bombs on a man, right? No, not even manly enough to go, snipers take him out, not even no close contact combat, just sending a drone, man, right? This man's the devil, right? But what's interesting to see is how everyone, right, people on the internet now are worrying about World War III, right? Just the other day they were they were saying New Year, New Me, right? We, on the other hand, we were, requesting, beseeching the Lord that this be the year, that are of our salvation. Now, this, not saying that this is it, not saying that at all, right? Because this is not in line with prophecy, right? Certain things have to happen before, this destruction happens, right? This is Matthew 24:6, is, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so this ain't the end, but this is a step in the right direction, as we always say, right? Which is why you've always got to filter everything out through the scriptures, through the prophecies, right? Otherwise, if some might be hearing this and then it comes to nothing, and then they're disheartened. Why? But they're disheartened because they didn't understand the prophecies, right? You gotta have understanding of the prophecies. What is that? Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding, right? So you got to get the understanding of, what these scriptures is saying. Well, you got to put, as the scripture says in Isaiah 28, is it 10 or 13? 28 and 10. For precept must be on precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? And when you read, throughout what people, the books Cole referred to as the New Testament, that's all he was hearing. Is it not said in the prophet Jeremiah, right? Did not Elias say, or was written in the book of Joel, right? Roughly paraphrasing all of those, but little bits were basically being taken from here and from there, right? And even in when it's written in red, right? In the Gospels, the book's called the Gospels, right? He's telling you how Shah's picking precepts from here and picking precepts from there, right? And that's how we're supposed to read these scriptures, not like a start to finish novel, right? You got to put these precepts together. Okay, well, this lines up with that, or that one lines up with that, or actually this is the same account as that, right? So that's how you get understanding of these scriptures. Or ultimately, where is that? Let me find it. This is Acts 8:30, right? It says, and Philip run thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest what thou readest, right? This is Philip speaking to the Ethiopian eunuch. I believe it's the Ethiopian eunuch. Yeah, right. It says, and he said, how can I except some man should guide me? Right, and he desired a Philip that he should come up with him and sit with him, right? So basically, The eunuch was like, look, man, I'm reading this, I don't understand it, right? And I need a man to tell it for me, right? Because the Lord, whether you scoffers like it or not, the Lord has set up certain men in certain positions, right, to do the teaching, to basically say, okay, this is this is what happens. Right? You look at the time of Moses, the Lord wasn't dealing with directly with all of those men, right? The Lord will set up, the men who He wants. What does this say? Yeah, it says Hebrews 5:12. It says, for the time you ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, right? So you need a teacher, man, right? You need a teacher, and you got to be humble and say, look, I don't know anything. But the problem with Jake is they want to be the one with the revelation. They want to be the one that, says, oh, yeah, the Lord is dealing with me. Look, man, you can't. Hey, Israel said that in the time of Moses. Oh, why is he only dealing with you? Let us go. And then when the Most High came, they got shook, man. Right? This goes to show you how full of shit our people are. Right, it says, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, right, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat, right? So, hey, you gotta really start with the milk of these scriptures first, right, of these precepts. Once again, you can't be a guy who's just trying to, jump in, straight for the hardest breakdown. No, you gotta, come up the right way, basically. As 1 Corinthians 3, and our brethren could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Yahweh Shai, right? So that's the process. You come in and you get the milk, right? The color of the Lord, right? The fact that you're Israelite. You start learning about the 12 tribes, then their names at least, right? I remember hearing, before I was in the truth that, a guy had the name Gad, and then I was laughing, right? And these times I didn't even realize that Gad is one of the nations of the children of Israel. I didn't realize that was my brother, right? Which just goes to show you how stupid and how foolish you are when you come out of these churches, right? It says, I have fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto you are not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able, right? For ye are yet carnal. For as whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are you not carnal and walk as men, right? So basically, the Lord is saying, look, you ain't on, sorry, not Lord, Paul is saying, hey, you ain't on the level because you're still doing basic shit from when you came straight out of the world. Therefore, you ain't on no level to be, delving into the deep, subjects, right? So one thing you got to do is just be humble and be like, look, okay, I'm gonna take it as the Lord gives. So scriptures talk about the most I give the increase. It says Proverbs 24. No, not that one. Yeah, Proverbs 25:16. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it, right? And that's metaphor for this truth, right? Just like with honey, you eat enough, yeah, that's good, right? But when you overeat, right, what are you gonna do? You start feeling sick, and then you vomit it out. Why? Because you're trying to do too much. You're trying to force the spirit, right? So just stay in your lane, and the Lord will start opening certain revelations up to you, right? The Lord will start letting you see certain things, and as in not that you broke the things down, right? Which the Lord might do that, right? But for the most part, that ain't gonna be the case. The Lord, is dealing with the apostles, right? For the most part, you ain't going be the first one to bring a particular thing out. There are certain things the apostles know, right? But just haven't done any videos on, right? So where were we? Oh snap! There we go. Water, right? It says Jeremiah 49:20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he taketh up against Edom. Right now, Edom, right, is the name of the family of Esau, right? So the man Esau made the nation Edom, From the man Esau rather came the nation of Edom, which is these so-called white people, right? And they don't like that name, right? Because that name has a judgment for them, right? The fact that they're the wicked and the fact that they're going to be destroyed forever, right? It says, and his purpose is that he hath purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Right, so surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right, and this is the key point here. Right, the least of the flock is referring to the chief house of Edom. Right, the chief house of Edom is Amalek. Right, and Amalek are them so-called Jews over there in the land of Israel. Right, when they do something stupid, right, that brings America into this third world war, that's when you know, right, and this is the key scripture, right, that lets you know, helps you filter out all of these. Oh, this country attacked that country, or this person did that, or whatever, what have you, right? Because although like I said, although this is a good article, right, and shows that we're heading in the right direction, the end is not yet, right? It says, surely ye shall make their habitations desolate with them, right? This is Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right? So the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures, right, is what keeps us sane. Right? So like I said, right now on the internet, you got all of these people talking about World War III, right? And deep down they don't know what they're gonna do in times when that happens. They don't know what they're gonna do in the time of World War III, right? But we know. We just gonna trust in the Lord, and the Lord gonna do the dealing. The Lord gonna do the protecting, right? There ain't nothing for us to worry about in that regard, right? But also it's now we're looking at it and we're like, okay, now this ain't it. It's the right direction, but this ain't it, right? So yeah, as always, I believe that's all I have. As always, Lord's will you was edified. Until the next time, Shalom.